So we're back on Arabia, and it's Daddy Stark or just Stark in the green here, playing as the Teutons. They're a very strong civilization, very strong cav, very strong, what's the word, melee, and good siege, good monks, great booming economy as well, cheaper farms, all that good stuff. Free murder holes for what that's worth. It can come in clutch sometimes in Tower Wars. And he's playing against Salette, a very, very good French player playing as the Franks. And Franks are obviously just built to go scouts into knights. Really, really strong. They get extra, whatever, they gather from berries faster. Their scouts have extra HP. Knights have extra line of sight. Later on, their stables can work faster if they get chivalry. Incredibly strong civilization. Certainly at the lower elos, they're considered very strong because knights are stronger at the lower elos, but they can be countered, and I think Teutons actually are a decent counter to them, right? Teutons are getting extra melee armor, which means they'll just win melee fights. Basically, they get it in Castle Age and extra in Imperial Age. They get the Teutonic Knight as well, which is think is the strongest melee unit, except for maybe the Persian War Elephant. I could be wrong about that, but definitely up there. But Teutons lack a lot of other options as well. They're very slow. They don't get husbandry, so their cav isn't as fast as the Franks. So the Franks will be able to run away if it becomes a knight versus knight battle. They do have stronger monks though, a stronger monastery, I should say, and their knights and all their other units will be more resistant to conversion. So yeah, I really favor them if it comes into a knights versus knights war. But it's not a foregone conclusion. Obviously, both civs could go drush into archers or whatever, but after Castle Age, the archer play just doesn't... it's not good. Neither of them are getting arbalest. I don't think either of them are getting fantastic fantastic skirms. You can see the knights, the Franks are missing the bracer. They're missing the last armor upgrade for the archer line. And Teuton's missing bracer also. I think they're missing thumb ring too. I'm not sure if the Franks get thumb ring, but probably not. That seem a bit OP. Franks are getting the cheaper castles, but Teuton castles are very good as well with the free murder holes. Anyway, let's see. I'll just say all the possible things that can happen, and then when something happens, I'll say, I called it. That's the plan there. Anyway, Salette going for his berries, which are on the front. And you generally don't want to have your berries on the front as the Franks. Like I mentioned, you have that bonus, right, of taking the berries faster. So, like, taking in your berries safely is really key to the early Frank economy to get your scouts out. So you won't be happy about this, and Daddy Stark will be very happy about it. He'll look to punish this once he scouts it, though. He's getting a barracks up now, and he's on his way. Well, he's getting loom, and then he will be on his way up. Both players at 20 pop, going up with 20 pop by the looks of things. No, Daddy Stark going 21 pop. He's getting loom. And yeah, it might be men-at-arms play from him. Men-at-arms into archers, perhaps. And yeah, this seems like a pretty decent counter to scouts. Let's see how this plays out. Let's see how this plays out. So if you get men-at-arms in your opponent's base, and you supplement them with like a spear or two, and then you have archers on top of that, you basically force the scouts player to make an archery range and a blacksmith, and then get skirmishers out, which is a big adjustment, but that's usually the way you see it go. At this level, people rarely play just scouts into knights. It's always scouts into skirms, and then knights, because you need the skirms to counter the pikes, you need them to counter the archers. So let's see how this goes. Militia being prepared now by Daddy Stark. I'm just going to check if he's actually scouted this berries. He hasn't. Let me select his units here. So he doesn't know where his opponent is. He does see the 4 tile gold and the stone over here. So he knows that the base has to be around here somewhere. It's a little bit sloppy from him not to scout his opponent first and be going with men-at-arms, right? He's going to get lucky and send them directly there. I mean, not lucky because he scouted it enough. But he will see the berries here. And once he sees the berries here, he has to go around and target them. And yeah, Salette spots this now and he will wall up, but I don't know if there's a hole here. I don't think there is. Is there? Of course there's a hole. There's always a hole. And yeah, he gets damage already. This villager was walled out, so just 3 villagers here on the berries, so it won't be ideal. Doesn't want to go underneath the TC though. No. Brutal. That's not good. Okay, so he loses a militia for free. Did get some damage here, but these walls can be deleted now, and you can easily go back. With just 2 militia, you can fight this. It's not going to be men-at-arms. I think that's the correct decision. You see people, whatever, decide whether they go men-at-arms later on, once they kind of see what their opponent's base is like, and if they can get some damage. Okay, Scout's going to run in now and get some free hits. There's a spear here as well for Salette, so he's defending this very well. The archers are on the way for Stark, but they're going to be too late, and all of this is going to be cleared up. And he's going to need to wall his base. He does know the scouts are out, but he's not walling anything yet. He sees where they are in his opponent's base. And let's see how patient Salette is here now. He should just go straight ahead with the scouts, right? Hera says 2 scouts is enough to get damage. And there you go. Okay. Needs to sort out his gather point, though. This scout was obviously just sent back here because he was defending. But yeah, here come 3 scouts. And sitting on this hill for Daddy Stark are spears and archers. And nice play by Salette. He spots it and runs away. So let's see. The game kind of delicately balanced. Daddy Stark a little bit behind. Again, he invested into those militia, got basically no damage except to slow down the berries slightly. And now we see that archery range coming out for Salette, and this just feels smoother for him. He's coming around with the scouts now. He's going to have the mobility. Daddy Stark doing a good job patrolling around where he's vulnerable, right? He needs to wall here, so he's protecting this villager. He needs his gold for the archer, so he's protecting that. And he's protecting the front here. Well, not really, actually. This is vulnerable now. I would prefer him to move these guys up onto the hill. Better positioning, but it is what it is. But yeah. Here comes Daddy Stark with a little counter attack. Spears escorting archers, but again, this gets cleared up by skirmishers. So I would like him to be more active with his scouts, honestly. Okay, stable coming up now for Daddy Stark, so that's interesting. He wants to go into his own scouts. Okay, to counter the skirmishers, makes sense. Okay, as the scouts take fights against the spears, which again is perfectly fine. We saw the opposite in the last game where Lan just didn't want to fight with his scouts in Feudal Age, even though he could have got villager kills. Yeah, and if you group 3 of them together, you take out the spears without losing your scouts. But Stark gonna fight with his villagers. We'll get this stable down as well. Meanwhile, over here, skirmishers, yeah. Skirmishers gonna take out the this little forward here. So no one really getting any damage. In terms of idle TC time, Daddy Stark creeping up there. So maybe, yeah, he was a bit distracted. So he's adding another range and a stable. So yeah, really nice counterplay by both players here. It's gonna be skirms and scouts versus scouts and spears. Okay, let's see. I don't expect anyone to take too much damage here. I don't think anyone has like an overwhelmingly better army, but I think that Daddy Stark will need to get more scouts out on the field. He does have some now, but yeah, Salette should just be in the base, right? This isn't fully walled. He has spears here, but he can fight those spears, I think, with his scouts. Okay, he's gonna see this and be repelled, basically. Let's see. I think this one will definitely go to Castle Age, and it's gonna be about who gets there first, who gets the knights out first. That'll be the next kind of power spike here, and they probably compete for the relics as well. But I fancy Teutons long term, honestly. I think the longer this goes, the worse it is for the Franks. Teutons kind of come into their own in the later stages of the game. But Franks obviously shining Feudal Age, early castle. Alright, second archer range coming up now for Salette. So he's thinking about just going double skirm, or wants to get some archers of his own. I don't know. Again, archer is not really the option later on, but in Castle Age can be fine. But yeah, lots of swapping of decisions from these players. As the spear, nice micro there from Salette. You see him microed away the weak scout. These guys are quite weak, so he needs to be careful. He'll be very lucky to get a vill kill here. I like this from Salette. He's just aggressive with his scouts. We didn't see that in the last game from Lan. Hasn't been rewarded yet, but he might be rewarded here. This villager is vulnerable, but no, it's gonna be fine. Yeah. Okay, a nice AI army from Daddy Stark. Walks this way, then walks back. 2 scouts, 3 spears, and 8 archers. Okay, and then some scouts, more scouts. All right. So yeah, scouts are going to do fine here. He just wants to engage with the scouts against the skirmishers, basically. And yeah, this could actually tip heavily into Daddy Stark's favor very quickly here. We'll take the hill, and I think he's going to be all right here. You see what Salette is doing? He's just taking his skirmishers and trying to take out the spears. Where are his scouts? Did he lose his scouts? No. Here are his scouts coming back. He kept them alive. But scouts running in here, and yeah. Feels like these guys might cancel each other out, kind of. What is Daddy Stark going to do with his archers? I think he should just prioritize Vil picks now. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Realize that you're probably going to lose these archers. Attack with your scouts. Okay. Is he going to get a Vil? No. Any weak villagers here? No. Okay, so Salette defends very well there. Everyone kind of trades their army after everyone invested a lot into feudal age, right? They all went for multiple... whatever. Multiple counter units. They made scouts, they made archers, they made skirmishers. And it's going to be Salette who's clicking up first. And he's going up with 3 extra villagers. They both got wheelbarrow, which is interesting. Daddy Stark with the idle TC time. That's the difference. Idle TC time costing him there. Salette going for a market. And he's going to go for big boy walls all across the map, which I like. He's going to have another gold safe, stone safe, obviously. I would like to see him move out to stone. Another thing about the Franks is if they needed any more bonuses is cheaper castles. So he can really lock down his base if he wants to. But again, locking down your base with castles, I guess, is something you do when you want the game to go later. And I don't think he wants to go later against the Teutons. Anyway, Stark is on the way up to the Castle H himself, but he's going to be a bit behind. Salette already halfway there. And let's see what he does behind this. Teutons are notoriously weak to Cav Archer. So we're going to see Frank Cav Archer. They don't get fully upgraded ones, as we mentioned, but in Castle Age it could be okay. But let's see. Teutons are also able to garrison more units inside town centers and towers, which I think is an underestimated like bonus against Cav Archer, because you can just put a few towers around your res and just hop inside with a lot of villagers. Haven't seen that done much. Maybe there's a reason why the pros don't do it. Okay, but Daddy Stark is the one who's going to be going for cavalry by the looks of things. Scale barding armor coming in, bloodlines coming in, so he's going to want to open up with knights. And the Franks are going to go with crossbows. How many does he have? 9. It's not enough. It's not enough. If the Teutons have like, yeah, 3 stable production of +2 knights with their additional, well, yeah, melee armor doesn't matter against archers, right? But still, this can end now if he like just goes all in. Teuton farms are cheaper, remember, so Ezeko's gonna be feeling kind of smooth behind this. And yeah, the way he has it set up, he'll be able to get that second armor, so +2, and then just be able to pump a few knights. Let's see. He might even sell his stone. He doesn't have a market. Okay, so the Frank player is going for a second TC on this gold over here. So he's going to look to boom it out a bit. Crossbow have arrived. So yeah, I think he just needs to try and get as much damage as he can now with these crossbows. Don't have it in your head that you're going to try and save these crossbows for later. They're just to get damage now. And I think he just needs to dive, basically. Not going to do it, though. And I think he's missed his win, though. Already. As there's 3 knights for the Teutons now. And he's going to have +2. So yeah. Maybe that window closing. Crossbow going to go home. He has 16 of them, which isn't nothing. Well, long term, again, he can't play crossbow. But it looks like he's just going to try and boom it out. Skirmishers hanging around back here, just chilling. Alright. Is making some knights, but just 1 stable production. Already there's going to be 6 knights for the Teutons with +2. And I think that that's pretty much enough to take a fight. I think it's pretty much enough to take a fight. Knights are so strong. He's going to go forward, though, over here. So maybe going to try and bust in, get some damage. Yeah, Salette's going to go for 3 TCs. As the Teuton player now going for the second TC. Yeah, just guarding this area with his knights. Okay, crossbow doing okay. But this TC should go up, and it's going to be a bit of a booming match here. But already a villager lead for Salette because he got those TCs up earlier and less idle time, as we said before. Over here, though, knights are broken in and are denying this TC, so this is huge. So nice play by Stark there. He sent some knights forward, some at home to defend, which is nice. But yeah, he's going to have to defend here against the crossbow. Losing some villagers, loses 2 villagers trying to wall here. Might lose a 3rd villager on the wood. No, okay, it's gonna be alright. But yeah, it's falling behind in his eco. 10 villager difference now. He's into the back with the knights though, and he's just disrupting everything. Again, these knights with the +2 armor can dive under TCs, no problem. And I don't think all these villagers are going to fit inside this TC yet. So he can think about just diving, getting some vill kills, and yeah, taking it from there. Okay, these crossbows going to get a lot of kills though. So Salette doing completely the right thing here, in my opinion, with the crossbow. Getting a big ball of these into the late game isn't going to work for him, so killing now as many villagers as possible is the way to go. Idling the TC as much as possible. And yeah, both guys getting damage, but Daddy Stark being cleaned up kind of faster, as it is Cav Archer. Wow, okay, Frank Cav Archer. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, they're considered the Achilles heel of the Teutons, right? Let's see. But yeah, he's not going to have Bracer later on. Let's see, okay. Knight's getting a nice surround on the crossbow, but villagers being sent back to work too early, and again, Salette making the good decisions. He's going to lose this army, so just get as many vill picks as possible. 41 villagers now for Stark. It's going to fall a bit more before these guys are cleaned up. Yeah, getting more. Nice play. Again, the Teuton scout or Teuton knights are slow, right? They don't get husbandry, and a few of these villagers will go down. He's adding a monastery now. Okay, so yeah. Ratchid, thank you very much, Mr. Robot. I'm going to ban you. Was it last week I accidentally hit raid and like raid the bot instead of ban? That was interesting. Okay, so it's going to be Cav Archer, and yeah, it looks like Salette is way ahead now. Just from that play with the crossbow, just got so much damage. Stark sending his villagers back to work when he shouldn't have, and now he's 23 villagers behind, and his opponent has more TCs. So he's going to have to go all in here. And yeah, look what's happening now. The lack of husbandry for the Teutons is what makes them bad against Cav Archer. And this is exactly the situation you don't want to be in, where you have to go fight, right? He's way behind. He can't sit home and boom because he's going to lose if he does that, because he's already behind. He can't catch up in terms of eco. But he can't really leave because of these Cav Archers. They're going to be so bad, and yeah, this game might already be over. It might, in fact, already be over after this play. Yeah, hit and run all day. Okay, he's going to try and boom it out. If he has another TC, maybe. If he has a 4th TC and tries to boom, there might be a way back into it. But yeah, Salette playing this so well. Like, able to boom behind, get so much damage with the crossbow, transition very smoothly into Cav Archer. And yeah. Yep, sniping all day. And what Stark is doing here, he's just trying to buy time for his villagers. But yeah, another one will go down. So it's a 30 villager difference now. It's crazy. And obviously the eco, like all the idle time of those villagers running back and forth to the TCs will add up as well. Back here, Mr. Salette was housed, so he's going to build some houses. There you go. He's getting ballistics, which will obviously help the Cav Archer. He's going to have a ball of 30 of them now. As far as I'm aware, I can't remember who said it in my chat. 30 Cav Archer, one-shots knights. So that seems to be the magic number here. Maybe add a few more. Okay, he's going to add a few more. Why not? Just get a big ball of them going forward. It's really nice play by Salette. Great strategy, right? He knew that the Teutons could just beat them in a straight melee battle. So he said, okay, I'm not going to play melee. It's probably you, old monk. Yep. Probably you. He knows he can't win in a straight melee battle, so he's going to say, okay, I'm going to play Cav Archer. It's not the strongest unit that I have, but the best for the situation. And yeah. We already said skirmishers for the Teuton are not good. Not a very strong unit. How's it going, old monk, by the way? Hope you're doing well. As yeah, Salette can just hit and run here all day, and Daddy Stark will have to add a lot of skirmishers, and yeah, it's gonna be tough. All good? Good. Okay, there's a hole here. Not that it's really gonna matter, but let's see. Yeah, so Salette happy with this, just to be annoying in his opponent's base. I think he can probably think about going up to the next age soon. He is spending his resources, right? His resources are all very low, even though his eco is quite large. So that just means he's spending everything, which again is a good thing. That's what they say. But he's going to add stables now, so maybe going to go for that knight switch. And knights behind Cav Archer. Yeah. And yeah, we see he's on 36, 35 now, but he's not making any more, right? Maybe we'll need to make a few more now that he's throwing a few of them away to the skirmishers. But yeah. Gets enough Cav Archer that he can fight the knights. And then just doesn't make any more. And now he's going to switch into knights of his own. Going for another TC out here. And yeah, I would like to see him... Well, I don't know. I'm not going to give him advice. He could idle and go up to imp. But he's not doing that. He's just going to expand his eco for now. And Daddy Stark is getting enough res to click up maybe. But he has to be feeling so bad here. It's like, oh my god. Can't do anything. At least he's keeping his knights alive, but... When knights come out for Salette, as well as the Cav Archer, it's gonna be crap. Okay, that's a bad engagement there. That's a really bad engagement. Lost a lot of Cav Archers there, just didn't take care of them. One thing about the Cav Archers that they need to be microed a lot. Very micro heavy, lots of APM required. I shared the rec I shared with you with Z-Beast. I think he got overwhelmed by the info. Yeah, I can imagine. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm going to learn the build orders, like Drush into archers, men-at-arms into archers. Like, okay, now I know a build order. Now it should be fine. It's like, nope. You have to learn the build for transitions and everything. And there's obviously optimal ways to do things, which there should be builds for. It just makes complete sense. But yeah, it's complicated. Okay, as Salette getting some great damage here. And I think Daddy Stark is doing the correct thing. He needs to get damage. Like, if he loses a lot of his eco, he just has to deal with that. He just has to say, okay, it's necessary for me to actually win this game. I need to put pressure now. And he's doing that. He's coming with the battering ram. He's coming with his knights. And Salette going to drop a castle. Again, the castles for the Franks are cheaper. You have 3 on stone that whole time. This will help a bit, but yeah. Daddy Stark, I think, making the correct decision here. I don't think it will be enough to win him the game, but I do think it's the correct decision. Let's see. Skirmishers are here. Cav Archer back here. Only 16 of these guys left, and they're going to run into the skirmishers now and go down. There is ballistics for these skirmishers too, so yeah, going to lose a few of these guys here. He's dancing a bit, but yeah. Daddy Stark may be bringing himself back into this as there's a big fight here, and again, we said it. In a melee battle, the Teutons are just going to absolutely annihilate, unless they're on a hill, dodgily. Let's look here at the... Okay, yeah, Franks have to run away. The thing with the Salette, though, he'll be able to just pump knights from his stables at the back of his base and reinforce. And I think once Daddy Stark loses this army, he just calls the GG. He's making more knights. He doesn't have forward stables. Taking out some houses here. He did deny this... Oh my god, the knights need to fight. No, that's a bug. And yeah, okay, Salette just overwhelms with his knights, just sheer numbers. But raiding in the back here, so some knights were sent to the back by Daddy Stark. Where are those Cav Archer? They're gone now. Okay, so Cav Archer he just has 14 of those, so not very useful anymore. Again, we saw a great example there. It's like Cav Archer are good as long as you have time to micro them, and he had to do a lot in his base, and he lost half his Cav Archer. Okay, knights are cleaned up though, big score lead still, but I think Daddy Stark did the correct thing there. And Salette, yeah, not going up to the Imperial Age. So these guys might just be duking it out in the Castle Age. 133 villagers though for Salette. So yeah, that's not insignificant at all. 48 farms. It's a lot. And he's going to add more TCs out here. Daddy Stark adding a TC here on the gold. Love the Cav Archer opening. He doesn't care for them anymore. I think he can go Cavaliers now. Yeah. Yeah. We spoke about it a bit earlier that it doesn't scale well, archers for Franks to the end of the game because they're missing Bracer and the armor. So yeah, got damage with them. Now doesn't care anymore. Yeah. He can go Cavalier, but... He's not on his way up to Imp. He'll need to idle Knight production, but he's just not doing that. He's just trying to overwhelm now. But Stark's eco isn't bad either. 32 food, 29 on gold. He can spam Knights as well. And the Knights, if they're just being able to... If you can get a kind of snowball here, he might be alright. And the Knight numbers are looking, well, off the charts for Salette. But Daddy Stark has the stronger knights, and he's able to just spam them directly into the fight. There's monks healing. The monks have extra healing range for the Teutons. So yeah, it's all coming down to like who can reinforce this hill better. And yeah, obviously Salette with the better eco is able to do that more. Maybe Daddy Stark needs to add more stables. We see a stable coming up here. Now we can get a bit better of a spam going as he expands his eco this way. This TC is getting denied. There's only one villager inside, so I guess the villagers that built it all died. Throwing Axemen could be the play. I was thinking about that earlier. Throwing Axemen, like, will they do alright against Elite Teutonic Knights? He won't get to that. But, like, theoretically, I guess they can hit and run and it's going to be fine. But, again, you need to micro them. Teutonic Knights might just be the play anyway. Here, right? They'll be good against the Knights. I think just sprinkling in a few of them could be okay. Handcart coming in for Salette, and he is on his way up to Imperial Age now. Daddy Stark not far behind though, so what a fantastic job he's done keeping in this game. 158 villagers for Salette though, so, and he's making more. So that's an overboom in my humble opinion. He doesn't need that many. I guess they ain't good against Teutonic Knight, yeah. I think that the Teutons have the stronger late game, like, by far. Okay, I don't like this fight, though, from Stark. He's kind of taking it downhill. The TCs are trying to help out, but it's too strong. Pikeman coming in. Yeah, Daddy Stark, it's going to be hard for him to transition into anything else. 2 Knights. Just 2 Knights, just producing out of 2 stables. He's on his way up to Imp as well, but maybe he needed to stay in Castle Age. Maybe he needed to stay in Castle Age and just add Knights, Teutonic Knights. Maybe. Anyway. Lots of villagers idle here, but still moving around over here. He's adding his own barracks now, so he will go for pikes, I guess. He's going to add Teutonic Knights. He gets style points if he goes for Teutonic Knights. Salette with 161 villagers. He's just going to add pikes behind this, and yeah, fair enough. Gonna get help. Do they get help with the Franks? Yeah, I think they do. When he goes up to the next age. Dropping another forward castle. Again, the cheaper castles coming in clutch. And yep. Let's see. More castles. So he just wants to surround his opponent here. Ooh, he's going for champion. Teuton champion. Will be very good against these guys. Won't do fantastically against Cavalier. As we see Light Cav coming in. What is this about? Salette not taking this gold. Maybe he's forgotten about it. He's just on this gold with 3 villagers. He needs more gold, right? Or maybe he doesn't need it now. Very strange. Okay. Yeah, this castle is kind of huge. If he gets this castle up, it's a really big deal. Well, his opponent's in Imp now, so he's going to have Trebs out, so this castle will probably go down. But the Teuton castles are getting instant and free murder holes. So it'll instantly get rid of any of the pikes that are hanging around. And yeah, let's see. Okay, longswords coming in now. Elite, yeah, Teutonic Knights, style points right there. Teutonic Knights are on the field. I think it's just a nice play to add these. Just sprinkle them in. They can really do wonders against pikemen. Just absolutely wrecking them. Yeah. They are slow, but if they're just hanging around your own farms, they're a great defense. Expensive to make, though. But look at the army. 31 army versus 4. Salette pop capped. He's just going to sprinkle in Light Cav now, and in addition to his pikes. I don't know, this feels like a bit of a misplay to me. It's like, why are you just going trash? Why don't you just want to get Cavalier in there? What does he see from his opponent? Just a Teutonic Knight. Maybe he should go back into Cav Archer. Cav Archer will do well against the Teutonic Knights. Anyway, Trebs are here. Trebs out on the field though for Stark. What an absolute beast Stark is to still be in this game. So many villagers behind. Like, he's still 60 behind, but that's just because Salette overboomed, basically. And I wonder if that overboom will come back to haunt him here. Pikes raiding in the wood line. But yeah, castles with Bodkin and ballistics, so they're gonna be all right here. I'm not saying Salette is throwing by any means. It's still his game, but it's certainly closer than maybe it should be. Hand cannons, yeah. Hand cannons could be the play. What are we seeing though? We're seeing the throwing axemen, so we're going to get our answer. The throwing axemen will be good against the longswords, right? There's just one Teutonic Knight. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, and he's going to be able to produce a lot of these. Yeah. Longswords, is that really the play? As he's going to deny a castle. No, he's not. This castle will go up 90%, and yeah, villagers will die. He's just getting completely surrounded on this side. Yeah, it's great play by Salette. Great vision, right? He's just going over here with outpost to see what's going on. He's trapping his opponent. Has castles everywhere, denying this eco, denying the production here. Long swords are hanging around underneath. Is murder holes coming in? Elite throwing axeman is on the way. Elite throwing axeman is on the way, so we'll see how they perform. Villagers going for wood here. Yes, it's over. It's over for Stark, surely. 91 villagers. His pop is below 100. That's when they say you should GG. He's going for two-handed swords. Throwing axemen, yeah, so strong. Throwing axemen are ranged infantry, basically. So they're kind of like if two-handed swordsmen could throw an axe at you from distance. They're kind of like that. So they shred buildings, they shred halbs. Basically, they have all the bonuses that a champion kind of would have, except they're ranged. Yeah, so they're going to do okay here against the opponent's infantry, and the GG is called.